Hi, this is Lisa and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to continue the series and we're going to look at the model horse Zafirah. As I don't own this model myself right now, I wish I did, I'm going to be using photos from Identify Your Breyer, and I will put a link to their website below if you're not familiar with them, but I'm sure you are. They're amazing. This video might be a little longer than what I normally want to have for these kind of videos because I'm going to touch on some conformation and how to understand it, and I want to simplify this for everybody. So before we get started, I'd really appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. And I'd really like to thank everybody for helping me reach over 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. This video is mainly going to be about the shoulder area, but let's first take a look at this first front leg. You can see it looks a little bent here, and this could be part of the molding process and not part of the sculptural process, which I assume. I've added in the leg of a horse in a very similar position, and you can see here there's more upper arm width and this knee is going straighter. So when I add in the lines, you can see there's a little bit more muscling here. So if you're going to customize this model, I'd add a little bit more muscle up at the front. The pastern is a little upright, and just fix the plastic around the knee. It appears a little buckled. As I said, I don't think that's much of a conformation fault as a plastic bending fault. So I found a horse in a very similar position, and I want to compare to this horse. So as we look at this mare, I am going to put Zafirah on top. And you can see how well, especially around that neck and shoulders, chest, these two match up so very well. And let's add in the flow of the neck along this line here. It is very similar on both horses. So let's take a quick look at these bones. The scapula here rotates a little, the shoulder bone, when you're riding. And you can just see that little tiny rotation here. And then the humerus and the legs all fold in sync with each other. It's all really one big configuration. And that means that these bones make a big difference on how a horse moves. When you're looking at the scapula bone, you look at the angle of the bone compared to the horizontal. Laid back means it's a very sloped angle, whereas straight is the scapula is more upright. And on a real horse, you can feel this bone, but on a model horse, we're just guessing. So where I put the points is as good a guess as I can make. This angle should be anywhere between 40 and 60 degrees, and it doesn't make a horse good or bad if we have either a laid back or straight angle. It just changes what these horses can do. So a laid back is very good to allow a horse to get its knees up in the air. So you want, for gaited horses or show jumpers where their knees go up to their nose, you want a laid back configuration. For straight configuration, you're going to get a daisy cutter, such as a Western pleasure horse. If we look at these two extremes above, this American saddlebred, which is obviously a park horse, and you can see how his neck comes straight out of this very laid back shoulder, over the #1 Western pleasure stallion, machine made, who is so upright, and his neck will just go straight out because of that. And if we look at the angles, we see the park is at 40 degrees, well, as this Western pleasure stallion is at 62 degrees. So if we take a look at Zafirah, we can say her shoulder angle, and again, as I said, I put the points, I'm guessing, they could be off. But if we take this, she has a 48-degree angle to the horizontal, which means she is somewhat laid back. And her total angle, if you take the humerus bone angle, we're getting 89 degrees. Now, we would prefer 90 or bigger. Still, I'm so close with these lines, it could be bigger or smaller. And if we take a line down from the top of the withers or the top of the scapula down to the legs, and I've moved that back because her feet would probably be back here when she's not in a show stance. If we have that forward lean like this, that is going to allow the actual horse to pick its legs up higher. Another thing we look at is if we take a line of this back bone and we take a line from the point of the shoulder to halfway between that and compare it to this green horizontal line, If this line is lower, it again is going to put and allow the horse to get more action up at the front. Another thing we compare the scapula bone with is this piece right here, from the LT joint down to the point of the hip. It should be on a similar angle. If it is not, if we have an angle like we're seeing here in the green, what's going to happen is your horse is going to have more front end action and not as much back end action. And let's compare the humerus bone to the scapula. We would like it longer than 50%. The longer it is, the higher the horse can pick up its front legs. So we can see here we've got 59%. We also look at the angle and how vertical this humerus bone is. The more vertical it is, the higher the horse can get his knees up. This horse has a vertical humerus, but not as vertical as a park horse. If we go back to this park horse, you can see how much more of an angle this is on and how long this is. This horse is going to get his knees up to his ears. Now let's take the results and the angles we had from our Zafirah and compare it against Huckleberry Bay, who is definitely a park horse. And you can see these lines. He has the forward tilt. He has a very high angle here. He's 95 degrees between these two bones. He's very dropped through here, and he's lower down through here. This is the ideal conformation of a park horse. The blue in brackets compares Zafirah to Huckleberry Bay. Again, she's not too far off. So based on those numbers and what we can see, other than the knee here that would need to be fixed and the muscles through here, I would say this is an ideal Arabian pleasure horse. So let's take a look at the Scottsdale Arabian Horse Show English Pleasure class. This is what I would expect this horse to move like. Look how high up the front legs are, whereas the back legs aren't coming under as much. Everything is up front. So let's take a quick look at the horse I used as a comparison with Zafirah, because she has almost identical conformation. Let's see how she moves. Look at the freedom of the front legs. I think this horse would make an excellent country pleasure or English pleasure Arabian show horse. Very pretty mover. So let's grab your saddle seats and let's take this horse out for a ride as an English pleasure or a country pleasure horse. I think she's very realistic under those terms. For artistic flair, this artist has given the horse a lot of attitude, and I really like that. I think the only thing that I don't like about this one is I would have preferred the back feet down. Other than that, I'm going to give this one a 4-star. For your breed choice, if you have a bay, gray, chestnut black, or Rabicano or Sabino, choose pure Arabian. If you have a Tobiano pattern, choose a Pintabian. If you have an Appaloosa, you go for an Ara Appaloosa. And for all those other colors, such as roan or cream jean like Palomino or buckskin, choose a national show horse. Whatever you do choose, make sure you have good documentation. This horse really is a halter horse, but if you would like to show it in performance, you can show it in showmanship, but understand the rules that are different from, say, showing a quarter horse. You could also put it in costume or presentation, but it would look better without a rider since his head is so high up. I've shown a couple images here, though, with the head high. Or you can show it in scene. You have a lot of people showing their horses off to various people, and that would be a good little scene class. Just for fun, I'm going to give this model a playability score of a 4-star. Little me loves the attitude and look. It's such a pretty horse with so much attitude. 4-star. Thanks for joining me on my journey. Please check out the next video. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.